Welcome to Doing Business in Ghana on the TG Africa YouTube channel. And in this video, what I wanted to discuss is a step-by-step process to doing business here in Ghana. So I think it's very important that we are able to develop a blueprint which all of us can follow if we are serious about doing business here in Ghana, because there are a lot of people who like the idea, but unfortunately are overwhelmed and are struggling to figure out, okay, what are the practical steps I need to take if I want to seriously consider doing business here in Ghana. And the first thing we definitely have to clarify is it's definitely a process, and it's important we understand it's a systematic approach and a methodical approach that we need to have in mind rather than making rash decisions when it comes to doing business here in Ghana. So once we are clear that it's definitely a process, the first aspect of this is we need to focus on the motivating factors of what it means to become a diaspora entrepreneur. This is where we need to sort of self-reflect and ask ourselves whether we really suit the archetype of a diaspora entrepreneur. And the characteristic features of most people here who are doing business in Ghana is they all share four key motivating factors. So we firstly have to look at ourselves and ask whether finding a sense of meaning and purpose in our lives is very important to us, and whether we feel this is something we can find in Ghana. It's also important we're looking at whether feeling a sense of belonging and connection is important to us, especially if it's something we've struggled to experience whilst living in the diaspora. And becoming our own bosses also has to be a really important thing to us. And the opportunity to build wealth is also a major motivating factor that we have to reflect upon and ask whether this is important to us. So assuming we review ourselves and we're quite clear that we definitely share these four motivating factors, then we can actually focus on finding our core unique purpose. Again, a characteristic of most diaspora entrepreneurs is they have a very clear sense of why they're coming to Ghana. They all seem to have a sense of destiny that they are called to fulfill some kind of special task or mission. And ultimately, your core unique purpose should explain who you want to serve, how you want to serve them, and what kind of impact you're looking to make in their lives. And it should give you the kind of focus you need to know how to allocate your resources, your time, and your energy. And it also provides a good guideline for how you evaluate your and focus on business opportunities. So assuming you're clear on your core unique purpose, you can then look to actually generating potential business ideas. And the most important thing at this stage is we are looking to generate business ideas that will leverage on who we are as individuals and the uniqueness of what we have to offer. And ultimately, we're trying to bridge the gap between what Ghana needs and what we have to offer. And that is why using the Golden Formula framework is so powerful, because it allows us to achieve this objective. So when we are brainstorming business ideas, we're looking to consider our knowledge, expertise, work experience, and we're looking to see how we can incorporate that with our interests and passions. And we're also looking to see how we can solve particular problems that will contribute towards economic development here in Ghana. So once we are able to generate potential business ideas, we can then look at actually evaluating our business ideas. And it's very important we invest in evaluating our business ideas and conducting feasibility studies, because not every good business idea can actually be a viable business. So what we are doing here is we're trying to bridge and close the gap between our business hypothesis and real facts on the ground based on market intelligence. And hopefully this should actually allow us to refine our business idea a lot more, make certain changes as we respond to the information we are gathering. And it should also allow us to know whether we need to pivot or not. And it should allow us to make sure that we're actually converting a business idea into something that is actually a viable business that it's worth actually making the investment in. And once we have completed this stage, we can now look at putting together a business plan. And with our business plan, what we are looking to simply do is to put together a big picture overview of all the key components we're going to need to turn our business idea into an actual viable business. So we need to put together a plan that addresses the problem that we are focusing on, the solution that we're coming up to address the problem. We're also looking at the value proposition that that solution will produce. We're looking at the customer base that we're looking to target and building a profile of them. We also need to start thinking about our marketing strategy and how we're going to acquire potential customers and clients. We also have to look at what kind of strategic partners we might need to form relationships with. We also have to look at the startup costs that we need to consider. We have to look at the kind of team we want to build and the key personnel we will need. And we want to look at if there's any kind of legal requirements. So there's generally a lot of things that we have to look at and consider. And it's important we do have this overview because it allows us to complete the final steps, which is to put together a business strategy. And when we are putting together a business strategy, what we're trying to do is maximize our opportunities of business success, because a key determinant of whether we're able to establish successful businesses here in Ghana is not going to actually be based on how good our business idea is, but it's on the quality of our implementation of that particular idea. And there are always three key components we have to continuously consider. One being is business risk, one being is reducing costs, and the other is about trying to save as much time as possible and being as time efficient as possible, because certain business ideas are very time sensitive. So these are the key considerations that we continuously have to have in our foremind when we're looking to put together a business strategy. And the first thing we have to consider is finding the minimum viable product. And all this is a low cost, cheap to make, and quick to produce version of the final product or service offering we are looking to introduce into the market. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to use it to find product market fit, which is the second thing we have to focus on. So assuming we've developed a minimum viable product, the goal now again is to bridge the gap between our business hypothesis and real market conditions. And we're trying to really refine our service and product offering so that it's well tailored to our ideal customer base, so that we make sure that this product or service is something that is actually desired by our customer base and is something that they're willing to pay for if it was available. And once we've achieved that, we can now focus on our go-to-market strategy, which is all about how do we actually acquire our customers and achieve brand awareness and build together some kind of marketing and sales process to generate revenues. Because if we make the assumption that all we have to do is build a product and people will turn up, that's a big misconception. As much as we invest in our product market fit, we must also invest in developing a sophisticated go-to-market strategy for acquiring customers. And once we've completed that, we also now then need to turn our attention towards building a team and talent acquisition and recruitment, which is a really big challenge here in Ghana. So we have to be looking at what kind of business processes we're going to put in place with check and balances, what kind of key performance indicators we're going to have for our team. We're going to also look at the roles that they need to perform and what kind of process we're going to adopt to recruit people so that we're sieving out the good candidates from the bad candidates. And then finally, we want to address startup financing. And here we're focusing our attention on how are we going to finance our business. So we are going to explore whether maybe bootstrapping it is the best solution, whether we can form an investment syndicate, whether we might need to seek an angel investor or maybe venture capital, or seek some form of grants or initiatives to support what it is we're doing that may exist. So there's a whole plethora of different options when it comes to financing our business, and it's definitely the final stage of our implementation strategy. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you would like more information about doing business here in Ghana, feel free to book a consultation with us, and make sure to grab yourself a copy of The Great Return, and I'll see you in the next video.